Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to talk about CELPIP reading and we're going to see how we can use reading skills, make them better without CELPIP material, without the need to pay for anything, and how you can improve your comprehension not only for CELPIP but in general. The techniques that I'll teach you today are also useful for your overall cognitive abilities. It develops your mind and it's a great habit to have as well. It could just be a really fun activity for you. Okay, but we're going to target a lot of this for CELPIP comprehension as well. Now, the website that I'm at, it's called theguardian.com. This is the international version. You can also visit the local one. And here we have news articles. And why I like this website is because you can just view news articles without the need for subscribing to anything or paying for anything. So you got a bunch of things here. It's also going to keep you informed about latest stuff. So great habit to have. Now, what do I want to click at? Let's look at. Well, there's nothing really interesting here for now. Okay, so we're going to look at this article and I'll tell you how this will help your CELPIP reading. This talks about a different planet displaced by wars. Okay, so it's about Ukraine. Ukrainians prepare for a surreal first Christmas in Australia. This word surreal, what does that mean? Do you know? Well, this means this is not almost like not real. It's something that is unbelievable that is even happening. And this word, if you didn't know that, you would Google it and you would learn it. It would improve your vocabulary. Do you know asylum? You should know that as well. If you don't, you can Google it. It is when you give people security or citizenship when they are refugees, for example, moving to another country, fleeing for in because of the danger to their lives. Okay, and more like that. So you go down and you're gonna see a bunch of great words, and that's gonna help you improve your vocabulary. You know, these words are academic, and we need to be proficient in academic vocabulary because a lot of your CELPIP reading, especially when you go to part four, goes to the academic level. And not only will it help you in reading, it'll help you in listening when they use fancy words. It'll also help you in writing and speaking, so you can incorporate those words in those modules. But now let's look at how you can improve your comprehension or reading skills. I'm going to read this one here. About 4,000 Ukrainians have arrived in Australia since the invasion began and now face a festive season far from home and loved ones. Good word here, festive as well. So, you know, you'll find great vocabulary down here. Now, if I want to rephrase it, let me try to rephrase it in my own words, and I'll tell you later why I'm doing that. Um, so I'm going to say about four, I can't rephrase 4,000. So, okay, a huge number of Ukrainians, almost 4,000, are now in Australia, and they're going to have a festive season not in their home or with loved ones as they're used to. Okay, so I rephrased it. I'll do a little bit more, and I'll tell you why later. Let's look at this paragraph here. This time last year, Tatiana Shina was on stage. Her 13-year-old daughter, Anastasia, was playing the lead in Thumbelina, and Shina was playing her mother. Lots of Nas here. Okay, well, this is pretty simple. I don't want to rephrase that. It's just data here. Let's look at something like, okay, I would like to rephrase this one for you guys. In Romania, I don't know anyone. I listened to the people on the bus. They said they knew a kind woman who lived near the border who would help them. I cried and said, "Please take me and my daughter. It's night and it's scary. My battery is low on my phone." Okay, so this is the girl talking about her experience. So I'm going to rephrase it this way. I'm going to say, when I was in Romania, I wasn't, well, I didn't know many people. But on the bus, I heard that there was this great woman who was helping people cross the border. Uh, I was just so excited that I teared up and begged her or those people to take my daughter because it was a bad time for me with my phone battery being low and it being night. It was all pretty gloomy or scary. So you see how I rephrased that. And now I'll tell you why I'm doing that. Once you start rephrasing it, you get to explain the same reading or passage to yourself in your own words. Your mind now understands what you have read in its own version. You know how it's a psychology thing. When you are told to do something like, "Hey, stop at the," my wife used to tell me, "Stop at the stop sign." I never stopped, okay? But when a cop stopped me once and he ticketed me $600, after that I stop every time. Okay, so it's just like when you experience something yourself, your mind is then able to understand that situation way better and adapt. This is what you're doing here as well. You're giving your mind familiar words that it will help it understand the content better. I can see that for example, I use gloomy more than scary, to be honest. That's the word I choose. So when it says scary, it's scary. Okay, fine. I get it. But if I, in my mind, say it's gloomy, it's just something that I use. I'm more familiar with that. So if there's anything in the questions of reading, even close to the word scary, even something like this was not this was terrifying, something like that, because I have the word gloomy in my brain, my mind would instantly click and I'll relate it with anything similar being said in the question, because questions are paraphrased always, right? So you need to know the situation, you need to know this whole concept or the whole passage in your mind with familiar words that you have, so you can imagine and visualize the whole scenario. If I use the word scary, for me, I don't use it much. So maybe it's not going to relate much when I see the word terrifying. Maybe I'm going to ignore this and ignore the place where it actually matched the passage. So I'm going to explain it to my own words, get it familiar in my brain, and I'll be able to visualize and imagine this whole scenario much better. This helps me in understanding the passage. It helps me in almost memorizing it, because when you develop a visual memory, you can explain things and remember things better. That's what happens with people who have photographic memory, right? They say that we don't need to memorize everything. Our mind just visually captures this. And few people have that talent. But the thing is, you can develop that talent with the help of imagination. Secondly, it helps you with paraphrasing. When you have these words explained to yourself in your own words, and you have the words written down here, then you have a variety of words going on in your brain. And in the question, anything that is similar or even close to it would be quickly registered with you. You'll say, okay, this thing matches this passage. Any multiple choice question that is rephrased in very complex wordings, same thing. You'll be able to relate it because you know the idea now and you have a deeper understanding of it. So this is a great exercise to practice at home. You go paragraph by paragraph, explain each paragraph to yourself. And when you finish up, the best thing you can do is at the end, explain the whole thing, all the paragraphs to yourself once again. Do a quick summary, and now if you try to attempt the questions, you will notice that your understanding would be so much better. It would just be phenomenal. It would be a huge difference. Try that, and you will just notice how quickly your ability to answer questions accurately changes. Now, in our reading strategies, the technique is to use the question first, read the question first, then go in the passage. That does not change. But when you read the passage, use this technique. And just to begin, just to see the difference, you can try one or two passages with this technique first. Try to just read the passage first, understand it, and then try the questions. See how different it is. But then again, to ensure you have the right strategy, go back to the questions first, start with that, then go to the passage one at a time, and then find your answers. But your comprehension skills will become so much better once you start to paraphrase the words, explain it to yourself, and you'll get better and better answers. I hope this helps. If you liked this video, like, share, and subscribe, please. It really helps the channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.